What is going on, everybody? Today I'm bringing you another downfall video. This one is a little bit different. I am joined by Black Flags Matter, Darian Gilliam. This dude makes some of the best racing videos on YouTube. He is a huge personality within the NASCAR world, and you gotta check him out if you haven't already. I'm sure you already know about him, but thankfully he's joining me today to talk about his proud St. Louis football history and why St. Louis just hasn't been able to hold an NFL team, and if they will ever get one back. That's the big question. The Rams have had a great history in St. Louis. They've been to 2 Super Bowls. They won 1 Super Bowl over the Titans. They played in a pretty small dome, which is pretty interesting. Now, before the Rams moved to St. Louis, they had the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals were established in 1960. And they played in St. Louis until 1987. Yes, these are the same Cardinals that moved to Arizona. And ironically enough, yes, they're named right after the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team, because back in the day, football teams used to try to trick baseball fans into thinking they were the same team so they could get more fans. Yes, that's a real thing. That's why these teams were named after many baseball organizations. But the Cardinals did not have a lot of success. They only had 2 NFC division championships in 1974 and 1975. They only made the playoffs 3 times in 74, 75, and 82. And they played their final season in the 1987 season in St. Louis before moving to Arizona, where they would play at Sun Devil Stadium, home of the Arizona State Sun Devils. The Cardinals were going to stay, but the city would not build a stadium for them, so their owner really had no other option, so he took his team to the desert. Now, it took a couple years before St. Louis got another football team. That was in 1995, when the Los Angeles Rams relocated there. Funny thing is that both the Cardinals and the Rams are divisional rivals, and they both formerly are from St. Louis. But Darian is going to give you the complete rundown of the Rams' tenure in St. Louis and everything that you need to know about why the Rams moved there and why they ultimately left.
The Rams' time in St. Louis is a very interesting one, considering the fact that the only reason they moved to the city of St. Louis from LA was because of a brand new stadium offer. The owner at the time, George Frontiere, was wooed by the city of St. Louis to bring professional football back. With the help of Stan Kroenke, ironically, they were able to make the switch in 1995. Overall, the general perception was the players did not like this move one bit, not a surprise considering the vast differences in both markets. Despite that, however, new head coach Rick Brooks got them off to their best start in years with a 5-1 record. But a spirit-crushing loss against the San Francisco 49ers set him reeling out of playoff contention soon after. And after back-to-back losing seasons to open up the St. Louis era, Dick Vermeil was brought out of retirement to help restore a winning attitude to this franchise. Key players in Lawrence Phillips, Eddie Kettison, Keith Lyle, Isaac Bruce, and a young Tony Banks at quarterback were going to be key in rebuilding this team quickly. And not to mention their newly #1 draft pick from 1997, Orlando Pace. The problem was some of those key pieces weren't very good, Lawrence Phillips couldn't stay out of trouble, and Eddie Kettison just wasn't cutting it at receiver, and finally Tony Banks was looking like a massive bust at quarterback. The end result? 9 wins in 2 seasons. But the other half of that result is that it jump-started the greatest turnaround in NFL history. The front office quickly threw together one of the greatest offenses ever seen in NFL history with an already good defense, and they were able to turn it around in 1999, going 13-3 and winning the Super Bowl. Think about that. They went from 4-12 to 13-3 overnight and won a championship. Without a doubt, the greatest turnaround in NFL history. This changed the entire market standpoint for the city of St. Louis when it came to football. You go from nobody to everybody in the region caring about the team overnight. The question was, would this type of success be sustained? And it turns out, for a small time period, that's exactly what happened. Entering the new millennium, Vermeil decided he was done coaching, and Mike Martz immediately took over. After a 6-0 start, injuries derailed what would have been a record-breaking season for the greatest show on turf, and a 10-6 record ensued with a wildcard loss to the Saints. 2001, however, arguably is the greatest team in St. Louis Rams history. The current core had peaked with a 14-2 record, followed by a playoff run that led them to their second Super Bowl appearance in 3 seasons. The greatest show on turf could finally be validated as a dynasty with a Super Bowl win against the upcoming Patriots. The soon-to-be hooded disciple in Bill Belichick stumbled across this offense earlier in the season and was able to pick them apart. He realized beating the Rams meant beating Mike Martz psychologically. Mike Martz loved throwing the ball and would always do so despite having one of the most versatile backs in the NFL up to that point. A late score tied the ball game, and it looked to be the first Super Bowl to go into overtime. However, the Patriots also had the future GOAT in Tom Brady, who led them down one of the greatest Super Bowl drives in NFL history that led to Adam Vinatieri kicking the Patriots to their first ever Super Bowl, beginning the Patriots' soon-to-be dynasty. As fast as the historic run began, it quickly ended the following season. They suffered one of the worst Super Bowl hangovers ever, opening up the 2002 season 0-5, leading to Warner getting hurt and Mark Bulger eventually stepping up at quarterback. Over the next 2 seasons, however, it would be a toss-up between him and Warner. Bulger would be named the full-time starter in 2003 and led them to 2 straight playoff appearances with a playoff win in Seattle in 2004. But that's as good as it gets. The St. Louis Rams would never make the postseason after 2004 ever again. Mike Martz was let go after 2005, which began a coaching carousel that would last from 2006 to 2011 between the likes of Scott Linehan, Jim Haslett, and Steve Spagnuolo, only leading to 23 wins in 6 seasons, including a dismal 6 wins in 3 seasons from 2007 to 2009. Front office issues, a coaching carousel, and a revolving door at quarterback led to the fan base simply not caring in the region anymore. The only notable player on this team during this entire time span was Steven Jackson. And during this time span, he had 6 straight 1,000-yard seasons, including leading the NFC in rushing in 2009 on a team that went 1-15. Les Snead and Jeff Fisher were brought in to help turn around the organization in 2012, but at this point, the organization had already had an impending move in mind, a return to LA. Stan Kroenke, the man who helped get the team from LA to St. Louis, wanted to move them back. In 2013, it was rumored that Kroenke had bought a huge amount of land in LA with the intentions of building a brand new stadium on it. From 2012 to 2015, the Rams were nothing but mediocre, having the occasional flare-ups against divisional opponents, but overall really didn't do much in the grand scheme of things. Their defense was amazing, but their offense simply could never get it going. During this time span, though, they were able to get key pieces in Aaron Donald and Todd Gurley that would eventually help lead them to a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, just not in St. Louis. Multiple losing seasons, along with no real plan to rebuild within the region, really led to the franchise's downfall in St. Louis. The St. Louis Rams' final home game took place on December 17th, 2015 with a victory over the Buccaneers. And after 2015, the move to LA was made official, ending a 21-year run in St. Louis, a grand total of 21 seasons with only 5 winning seasons and 1 Super Bowl.
So that is what happened to the Rams franchise in St. Louis. And obviously now they've been in Los Angeles for a couple years now. And when they hired Sean McVay as their head coach over Jeff Fisher, Sean really took this team to new heights. He got them to another Super Bowl where they lost to, ironically, the Patriots. And even this past offseason, the Rams moved into SoFi Stadium, the beautiful brand new stadium that Stan Kroenke promised when he moved his team to Los Angeles. Now they're out of the Coliseum and they completely rebranded themselves. So this is no longer the same St. Louis franchise, because you could still see a little bit of that St. Louis team in the Los Angeles team, but now it's completely different. It seems like that door has really been shut. Now, will St. Louis get another football team in the future? Obviously, when the XFL was brought back, they brought a team there in the Battlehawks, but because COVID hit, the XFL had to stop running. Then the XFL literally disbanded, but it looks like The Rock is going to bring it back. So we'll have to wait and see what the Battlehawks do when they come back. But it was really fun seeing them play. They even played a game in the Dome, which was amazing to see. And a lot of fans showed up for that. So it looks like St. Louis is still a market for an NFL team possibly. And if we're being completely honest, you know, the Blues and the Cardinals are 2 really great historic franchises. The Blues just won a Stanley Cup, and obviously the Cardinals are one of the best teams in baseball. So I definitely see St. Louis as deserving of an NFL franchise. And I remember back in the day when they were talking about building a new stadium in St. Louis for the team to get them out of the Dome, there were ideas for them to build build a stadium on the river, and it was going to be an outdoor stadium, so that never got approved. Possibly we could see something like that in the future. Now, if there was a team to move to St. Louis, honestly, Jacksonville could work. I know it sucks picking on Jacksonville, but that would definitely work. They could stay in the AFC South. They'd be near Indianapolis, Tennessee. They'd be near Houston, so that could definitely honestly work. I know it's not as flashy of a city, but Jacksonville's not a flashy city. Honestly, I've been to the Jacksonville Stadium before, and I've been to Jacksonville. I do not understand how they have an NFL team. You know, even if they do move to London, I think that St. Louis would actually make more sense logistically. Now, this is coming from an outsider's perspective and myself, but you know, even though St. Louis doesn't have a football team, there still is another team in state, and it's the Chiefs, and they have a bright future ahead of them. I know that a lot of St. Louis fans don't really like the Chiefs, but it seems like they've kind of adapted themselves into the team of Missouri for sure. So even though St. Louis doesn't have a team, the Chiefs are still there. That's still a team to cheer for. They obviously have the brightest future in the NFL, if we're being honest, with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. They're going to be good for a long time to come. So if you're a St. Louis football fan still looking for a team, you know what? You should just bite the bullet and cheer for the Chiefs, because they're going to be there for as long as time stands. And who knows if St. Louis will ever get a franchise back. So you might as well just start liking the Chiefs if you want an in-state team. And it seems the Chiefs have adopted the Blues as their hockey team, so you can kind of trade back and forth. Now, I don't know if Darian agrees with that, but that's just my thoughts as an outsider. So let us know down in the comment section what you think of the history of St. Louis football. Will they get another franchise? Who knows? That remains to be seen. It doesn't look very likely, but you really never know with the NFL. So thank you for watching, everyone, and please, if you could, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. It will help get this video out there in the algorithm. Thank you, Darian, for joining me today. Thank you for creating this video for everybody. You're very passionate about this topic. Thank you guys for stopping by. I will see you in the next video. Peace.